What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Wars. We're here for yet another day on the battlefield. Looks like the shorts had some nice continuation from yesterday. I'm going to be breaking down the intraday price action for the S&P 500. And if you're ready, let's step into the war zone. All right, guys. So the first thing we got to do is draw up our support and resistance from yesterday. So I have yesterday's high drawn over here, as well as yesterday's low. And then the second thing we need to do is look at establishing our bias, okay? So we're gonna go to the futures chart to take a look at what was happening overnight. So coming into the open, we had actually touched this major level of support and we were starting to pull back into the mid-Bollinger Band. And if we look to the left of this action, what do we see? We see a big impulsive move down. And this is the secret to playing the direction today. When we have such a big impulsive move, we want to be on the side of the trend. And these retracements are just pullbacks, okay? So the bias going into the open right over here was short for the day. And now how would we have executed that with the setups? So the first thing we see right off the open is this big push down. We take our fibs, we draw them up, and what do we get? We get a nice series of retracements back up to the 786 with a nice inverted hammer. And this is where my initial entry today, guys, was. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Today, I took this entry, got stopped out. Unfortunately, was not able to capitalize on the high of the day. And that's something I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But if you had actually just looked at the regular trading hours chart, we established the bias of going short. But look at this, guys. This chart pulls in right into yesterday's low. And this becomes a new area of resistance. And here is your setup, guys. And if we go down to a 15-minute chart, we could actually see this a lot more clear. We have this nice inverted hammer on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so your entry would have been below the low, stop above the high. We would have wrote it down. And like yesterday, we would want to trail this just because we don't know how far it's going to go down. So what we can do is use the mid-Bollinger Band as our guidance. And right when we come around this area here, we're going to move our stop over here and we're going to get poked out at the end of the day, which is fine. And we still managed to get 4R on this trade. At the very lows, it was almost 7R, guys, on the very low. So let me just make this a little bigger so we can see. But just being conservative, we could definitely have gone 4R. For the longs, like I said, the bias was short, so it's very difficult to go long. But there was this nice setup right at the morning, this hammer candle, which we could have easily just bracketed and taken for 1R. At the very high, it was 1.6. So I'm going to be conservative and say we got 1R with that. So today was a very fair day for the long and shorts to make decent setups, decent plays. But guys, the big winners is where the bias is. And that's why we established the bias. Look at this. Yesterday's short was an 8R. Today's short was a 4R. Okay, guys? That's why the bias is very, very, very important. And back to the stop loss is what I wanted to talk about. If we had actually gone to the 5-minute chart on the futures, we would have seen that the overnight had put in a major level of resistance. So the regular trading hour starts here, but then we have this pullback here, which we took short. And instead of putting our stop loss here, guys, we could have put our stop loss at the overnight high. So that's just an example of how we could use the overnight futures market charts to help us make decisions intraday. But nonetheless, guys, we had this pullback right into resistance. So previous day's low now acts as resistance. We had the setup. You could have still made a little bit of money on the long, but overall the bias would have to be short today, guys. I called it on Twitter. Unfortunately, my stop loss was a little bit bad, but you know, it's constant improvement and something I'm going to work on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment, like, subscribe, and let's look forward to tomorrow.